What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Inside Post and an early look at the Belmont Stakes to see who's going to be running, what is expected for the running style, the pace setup, and of course, the journalism versus sovereignty versus Baeza. Let's dig in to this somewhat of a small field right now. The latest projection, I think, is only 6 horses. Horse Racing Nation has about 8 or 9 that could go possibles. As you can see right now, we're only sitting on about 6 probables. So we still have about a week before past performances, before post times, or before post positions, and obviously the odds, rightfully so, we're probably going to get sovereignty and journalism right there at 2-1, 8-5 for sovereignty, 3-1 or shorter for journalism, and rightfully so. That's kind of what we're wanting to see. We're wanting to see these two horses go head to head again. Sovereignty winning the sloppy Kentucky Derby, and journalism just powering through in that Preakness Stakes. So they're going to be running against a little bit of a fresher horse in Rodriguez, who's coming off a pretty good layoff from the Wood Memorial. Skips the Derby with an injury, skips the Preakness with the same injury. I don't know. It's very interesting to see what Baffert's going to do in here. The distance, I don't know if the horse will take to this type of distance. And right now, sovereignty, journalism, and even Baeza are the class of this field. They should be able to easily dust Rodriguez and any of the others that are coming in a little bit fresh. But we got to respect Baffert. However, I think his track record at Belmont is not as well as his track record was at the Preakness. So, obviously, on top, you have Sovereignty, the Kentucky Derby winner, the likely post-time favorite, morning line favorite for this 2025 Belmont Stakes that will be ran at Saratoga. We have our Belatoga shirt. So I think he's going to get a really good setup like he did before. There should be some fairly speedsters in here, especially if we get the likes of Grande. We know Rodriguez is going to be running early. So I think we're going to have the same type of pace setup for sovereignty and journalism that we've seen in the Preakness and that we've seen in the Kentucky Derby for these runners. Now, another horse that's going to get a lot of attention, Baeza. Trained by John Sheriff. Luckily, somehow, the horse draws into the Kentucky Derby in the 21 hole with several scratches, Rodriguez being one of them, Grande being another, and runs a phenomenal third. After being beat out by journalism in that Santa Anita Derby, a very, very light racehorse. In here is Baeza. I like this horse kind of coming into the Belmont. It seems like this horse is a monster as well. These 3 horses just look phenomenal for the 3-year-old crop, and are going to be absolute fun to watch throughout the summer as we get into the fall for the Breeders' Cup. But I think Baeza sits on a big race in here, and he's definitely going to show kind of what he missed out in that Kentucky Derby, or why he was there for the Kentucky Derby. And of course, you have Rodriguez, the Bob Baffert trainer. Yeah, it's probably going to be the speed horse. Comes off a good layoff in here, and he's going to have to fight with that distance. And he's going to fight some horses that are in really top form right now. All 3 of these others, you can even make a case for Hill Road, Crudo, and Heart of Honor. A little bit better form than Rodriguez is right now, just because they've been running consistently. Now, Heart of Honor, very interesting that this one did come in here out of a disappointing 5th in the Preakness. Kudos for trainer connections, Jamie Osborne, running this one back in here for the Belmont. Hey, it's a small field. Why not try to get some price play in here on this one? Probably going to be one of the longer shots in here, I would think, depending on if Captain Cook shows up. Heart of Honor probably going to be the long shot on the board, coming out of that disappointing 5th in the Preakness. Next up, you got Hill Road, the Peter Pan winner. A lot of times we see the Peter Pan winner come into this race and kind of bring a little noise. This one's really good for Chad Brown out of Quality Road. Again, that Peter Pan looked really good for this horse, setting up for obviously a run in the Belmont Stakes. Watch this one. This one could be a very sneaky play for Chad Brown, who's always kind of like big time in these big races. So watch the price. This can be a pretty good value play for Hill Road. Next, Journalism. Obviously, the horse is getting a lot of the buzz right now, coming out of that Preakness, and the way he was winning that Preakness just looked unbelievable. Whether you say he could have caused foul or an objection, whatever it may be, the horse just wanted to run. And that's kind of what we've seen this horse do, being put in trouble, and the horse just finds a way to get out of it and finds a way to win or be close to the wire. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. Again, I don't think the horse is going to really tire out from running 3 times now on the Triple Crown circuit. I love the horse's chances in here. Think it's going to run big again. I do think we'll see a little bit of regression, but I think McCarthy's going to put all of his marbles in here. Let's go beat Sovereignty. Let's win 2 out of the 3 Triple Crown races. I mean, that's just phenomenal for this horse to be able to do. Even just running 2nd in the Kentucky Derby, 1st in the Preakness, and let's say it picks up a 1st or a 2nd in the Belmont. Just what a 3-year-old start for this son of Kirtland. Okay, so now we get into the possibilities. So we have Grande right now for Todd Pletcher. 2nd in the Wood, was scratched out of the Derby. I don't know, fever, some type of injury with Mike Rapoli. Again, getting another horse scratched out of the Derby. So watch out for this one. If it does make the vet sheet or stays off the vet sheet, this one could be a really good runner in here at a pretty good price. This one was getting a lot of attention for the Kentucky Derby. So this one could rightfully so be a exacta trifecta type horse in the Belmont Stakes. Hopefully we get it to run. We would love to see a big field in here for the Belmont. Captain Cook, 3rd in the Peter Pan behind Hill Road. Again, probably going to be another long shot play if he comes in. He will probably be the 2nd longest in here outside of Heart of Honor. This one, Out of Practical Joke for Rick Dutro. I don't know. It was on the Derby Trail and then kind of just fell apart, I believe, up in the Wood or on the New York circuit. So I don't know what to make of this one. Really haven't seen a whole lot of it. And again, 3rd in the Peter Pan. I could see this one skipping out of the Belmont. And then Pletcher's going to maybe poke around with putting another one in here in Crudo. This one is the Sir Barton Stakes winner and wowed in that Sir Barton Stakes, rightfully so, by Justify. This one could be very sneaky if we see Crudo get in here. I think Pletcher's going to put a horse in the Belmont Stakes. I just don't see him not running a horse. If he has Grande, Crudo, awesome. Let's get it going. We got 8 or 9 runners. I think Crudo probably has a better chance than Grande to maybe win. I would love it if he gets in here. This is a horse that we've kind of been watching because he's like a late bloomer, if you would, on the 3-year-old crop. But this one looks really good if he can make this Belmont cut. Now, again, the distance is going to be the question. You know, a bigger field, a class up for him. I think this one could be very, very sneaky, very, very dangerous in here for Todd Pletcher. Hopefully, we get Crudo to run. So that's kind of a quick rundown of an early Belmont Stakes preview. Obviously, you have Sovereignty, Baeza, and Journalism, but keep your notifications on. Watch out for updates on Grande or Crudo for the Todd Pletcher barn to see if they can make this Belmont Stakes gate. And it's definitely going to make things a lot better on the wagering side and the racing side. Good luck, everybody.